So before I introduce myself, let me just start by saying how much I admire each and every one of you for being here today. It takes immense strength to get over some of the challenges that life can throw at you. And just by showing up, you are demonstrating determination and courage that is truly inspiring.
This one is this one just know
Okay, no worries. Yeah, you are amazing and truly inspiring. I know that life can sometimes feel like you're climbing a hill that keeps getting steeper and steeper. But just remember that every step forward is a victory, no matter how small it may seem to be. So together, let us support each other, celebrate progress, and rebuild that spark of confidence. We all have it, it's buried within us, we all have it. Let us take this time to learn, to laugh. I know the topic is emotive, but part of being positive is also learning to laugh at certain situations, because that helps to ease stress. We are much stronger than we realize. I mean, you're a shining example of that. And today, together, we're going to take one more step forward. So let's get started. To introduce myself, I am a parent-teen relationship consultant. It's a bit of a mouthful. I didn't always start, prior to becoming a coach, I worked mostly in admin. I come from Nigeria. I've been living here for about 25, 26 years now, and that's where I met James Dad shortly after I arrived here. And his granddad, my father-in-law, also died of stroke. So that's the connection we have with stroke. And my sister's husband had a mild version of stroke quite recently. So we're very lucky that he's still with us and survived it and is hanging in there. So I decided to become a coach because of my passion for self-development and for helping other people. I've always struggled with my confidence. It's funny that I have a confidence coach, but I wasn't always confident. I was bullied at school for my appearance. You know, growing up in Nigeria, I was very skinny. Isn't it funny? When you're here, you're more likely to be bullied for being big. Back home, I was bullied for being skinny. I was skinnier than he is. And that really affected my confidence. And so when I retrained as a coach, I decided I was going to work with young women, help them to become more resilient, to love who they are, you know, to believe in themselves, and to realize that their worth and their value are not based on how they look, or how many likes they get on social media, or how influential they are on YouTube. And that's what I've been doing. I've been going into schools, educating young people. I had my own program, Resilience and Confidence Building Program. Luckily, I got some funding from lottery, and that enabled me to go into some local schools. And whilst I was working with teenagers, I realized also that a lot of the problems that they were going through came from their homes. And I realized that when there isn't a good relationship between parents and their teenagers, this will invariably affect their confidence and affect their outlook on life. So it's not just about their peer relationships, it's also about what's happening in their home and how it's affecting their mental health. And this is why I decided to also get parents involved. And now I also train parents of teenagers. So I developed a program to help parents of teenagers to bond with their teenagers. My expertise is connecting parents of teenagers to their teenagers. there are lots of support out there for parents in general, but there isn't enough support for parents of teenagers specifically. And you know, when you have teenagers, there are unique challenges that come with it. It's not like the terrible twos and you know, the 5 or 6 or 7. The moment they become teens, they get into those teen numbers, you know, the whole dynamics changes, and parents need support at this time. Because when you don't have a good relationship with your teenager, teenagers they need guidance. Their brains are still developed. They may look like adults. I mean, James is 20 years now, but he looked like that since he was 16. And so you could mistake him as an adult. You know, but they're not. Their brains are still developing. They're not as experienced as we are. They're trying to learn. They're trying to find their feet. And often we don't realize this. And there's a lot of changes going on in their body. It's a difficult time for them. They're going through, what's the word again? I keep thinking of menopause. Puberty. Yeah. Teenagers don't go through menopause. Puberty is the word. And this affects them, you know, mentally, physically. And that's why we have all these misconceptions about teenagers that I'm trying to educate parents about. You know, so particularly in African settings, you know, you tend to think teenagers are lazy, or that they're not respectful, they're rude. But there are reasons why. They don't wake up in the morning and decide, oh, I'm going to be lazy or rude. It's their bodies that are changing, the hormones are affecting their attitude. And it's important that as parents and the grown-ups that we realize this, that we become aware of what's going on with our teens. Because when we do, then we can support them better. When we learn how to communicate with them, we can support them better. And so, on towards the, because if you let me, I can talk about teens and parents all day. So I'll focus on the topic for today, which is about rebuilding confidence after stroke. I haven't been through stroke myself, but I did go through cancer. I did go through a very aggressive form of breast cancer. And I know, you know, some of the things you said about recovery resonated with me. I know just how a serious illness can totally mess you up, both physically and mentally. You know, it leaves you questioning who you are. When you no longer look the way you used to look. I lost my hair, I lost my nails, I lost my toenails, I lost my eyebrows. I was walking with a walking stick, you know, when I was recovering. And all these things, when you think about the things you used to do and where you are, it leaves you even questioning who you are. And that can give your confidence such a knock. It can really set you back. And that's why it's important to be positive. And it's all about slowly rebuilding your confidence. It's about taking one small step at a time. Confidence, you know, could probably be climbing a mountain in the past, but now it may well be about making a cup of tea with a steady hand. So it all depends on your level, what you're looking for. You know, I remember when I couldn't even blow out the candle a few years ago when I had a serious surgery and I was recovering. And that's when I stopped taking it for granted. It took me months to be able to blow out the candle. So back then, that was my confidence, to be able to blow out the candle. And so it's all about incremental, small, bite-sized progress, which I'm going to talk about today. I've introduced myself, but I'm going to do that again. So we're here to learn practical strategies for rebuilding confidence, discover tools for self-reflection and progress tracking, share laughs and insights in a supportive environment. I'm always for sharing laughs and being positive, even when the situation is quite serious. So what is confidence post-stroke? What does confidence mean to you? How has your stroke changed that? I think we've talked about that. you know, the introductions. So it's more, I'm not expecting you to answer this question now, it's more about reflecting, you know, it's all about considering how your abilities and strengths may have shifted since your illness and while you're recovering, because these are the things that will help you to stay positive and take confidence slowly, because it's not something you can rush into. So what new qualities or skills have you discovered about yourself during recovery? Examples could be resilience. Maybe you found yourself more resilient. You're a shining example of that, Charity. Patience, creativity. You found creative ways of recovering. You know, your doctor advised you to get a lot of fresh air, to eat healthy meals, you know, and empathy and gratitude. You talk about how grateful you are to God. Probably your experience has helped you to get there, and you feel a lot more empathetic now. You understand what other people are going through, and so you get yourself involved in a lot more in a lot more activities and causes because of what you've been through. Maybe you've realized that you have new problem-solving skills now. You've become more mindful. You've improved ways of communicating. You know, the way you speak has changed. But we can still understand you. You're communicating. There are people who go through stroke and they can't even talk because, you know, of what the illness has done to them. You're focused on wellness, and you're adapting to technology, probably finding innovative ways to use it, you know, to support you in your journey of recovery. So reflect on moments, however small, where you felt proud or accomplished. I know, what's your name again?
Mike.
Sorry. Mike, okay, yeah, you've spoken at length, you know, about all the things that you did before you became ill, you know, and that is a great accomplishment. That is very, very, very inspiring, and you should feel proud of yourself. Never allow whatever you've been through to diminish what you've accomplished in the past. Even if you can no longer accomplish it in the same way that you did it before your illness, you're doing what you can. One step forward is a victory, no matter how small it may seem. Confidence can shift, but it is still very much achievable. It's about redefining success in small, meaningful ways. Okay? Like I mentioned earlier, confidence is no longer about climbing mountains or doing massively great things. It's about taking one little step at a time. It's about adapting to new circumstances. You've had to do a lot of adapting since your illness. It's about recognizing your values and abilities despite the changes brought about by stroke. Never lose sight of who you are, of what you've achieved in the past, of what you are achieving in the present time. It's about finding strength in small achievements, discovering new skills that you probably wouldn't have discovered if you hadn't been through stroke. And it's also about redefining what success looks like to you. Okay? So start small. By starting small, I mean focusing on manageable, bite-sized tasks or goals that build momentum and restore a sense of accomplishment. So these small steps are the foundation of larger achievements and help rebuild confidence incrementally. So, I was going to do this as an activity where I get you to think about one thing you've accomplished recently and write it down. But we've all talked about things that we've achieved, okay? But what I want to stress is that you celebrate those wins as milestones on your journey. Celebrate every little achievement. Okay? Never consider it as something too small to celebrate.
It's very cool.
Set realistic goals. Okay? I want you from today to start setting one achievable goal every week for yourself. Set yourself a small goal, something that you'll be doing every week. One little thing that you will achieve every week. And when you're setting goals, goals should be specific, they should be measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound to ensure they are realistic and motivating. So by specific, I mean clearly define what you want to achieve. Okay? For example, if your goal is to be able to walk from one end of your garden to the other end of your garden, be specific about that, write it down. If your goal is to swim one lap of the pool, write that down. If your goal is to be able to pick up a cup and drink without dropping it, let that be your goal. It doesn't matter how ridiculous or how small you think it might be, okay? So let it be specific. Measurable. Determine how you will know when you've achieved the goal. For example, how will you know when you've walked from one end of your garden to the next? Is it 10 steps that it will take? Is it 20 steps that it will take? If you want to lose weight, how will you know when you've lost maybe 20 kilograms? You measure it by when you've lost 1 kilogram, 3 kilograms. Do you want to lose 1 kilogram in a month, or do you want to lose it in a year? Okay? So you set yourself, you measure it at the pace that works for you. Achievable. Ensure that the goal is challenging enough for you in your situation, but yet you can achieve it. Okay? For example, charity, I don't expect you to start running. I don't expect you to run from here to there.
I know about that.
Yes. That will not be a realistic goal for you at this stage in your life. So it's about making the goals.
Yeah.
If you don't make it realistic, it will not be achievable. If it's not achievable, you will give up on it. That's why people give up on their goals, because they don't make it achievable for themselves. It should also be relevant. It should align with what matters to you. What is it that's important to you at this time in your life? When I talk to young people in schools, I ask them, is traveling to the moon or to outer space what's more important to you now, or passing your GCSEs? So it depends, it's relative, it depends on what matters to them. Maybe when they've graduated, traveling to the moon might become their goal, or climbing Mount Everest. But while they're still in school, their aim is to do well in their GCSEs and maybe do their A-levels and get into uni. So it's about what's relevant to you and your situation. Goals should also be time-bound. Okay, you have to always tell yourself, I want to achieve this by next week, next month, next year. All goals should have a deadline. If your goal does not have a deadline, it becomes a wish. And wishes can be washing at best. Small goals lead to big victories. So it doesn't matter if you're literally crawling today. By next month, you may find yourself flying. Sorry. Go on. Please, if you want to take photos, stop me so you can take pictures. Okay. So next, mind your inner voice. What do I mean by inner voice? I mean thoughts and self-talk that shape your perception of yourself and your abilities. After stroke, this voice can sometimes be overly critical, but it can also be nurtured into a source of encouragement and resilience. I know we all have an inner critic. We all have that voice in our head. You know, those ones that always tell us that that you can't do anything, but you might as well just give up. It's not worth trying. So if your inner critic had a face, whose face would it be? This is the face I give mine. Gremlin, yes. Yeah, that is my inner critic. I often hear him niggling. But I've learned how to tell it to shut up. So, how you can challenge your inner voice? You can use affirmations. Affirmations are very good. These are some affirmations. Okay, so recognize unhelpful patterns and replace them with empowering statements like, every step, no matter how small, is progress. Okay? I am stronger than yesterday. I am proud of myself for trying. I am learning and improving every day. My worth is not defined by my limitations. I have overcome challenges before. I can do it again. You can come up with your ones, or come up with whatever you can think of that works for you. Sorry, I don't know if you wanted to take a photo of that. And repeat. Sorry? I don't tend to send out. I don't send the slides out. So try and take pictures. Or maybe Charity's taking them. She can send them to you. Sorry, Anne. Yeah, Anne will send them to you. Yeah. So come up with what works for you. You know, and repeat these things to yourself over and over and over again. Once you feel that, that inner critic niggling at you, because even at the best of times, even when you're not ill and you're fit, you still get your inner critic telling you off. So when you're recovering from an illness, it's even worse. But like I mentioned, you can nurture that into something more positive using affirmations. So grounding techniques for emotional balance is another way to rebuild your confidence, okay? And these help you to calm overwhelming emotions and bring focus back to the present moment. So one of the really good one is what I call the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. I don't know if you've heard about it. And this is where you name 5 things that you can see around you, okay? 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. This is a really good way of bringing you back, helping you to become more mindful and more present when you're feeling really lost and overwhelmed. Have you taken a photo?
Yeah, although I did a video instead and I wanted a photo.
You can still take a photo. This also works when your teens are driving you crazy. So deep breathing is another good one. Okay, you take a slow breath in for the count of 4, keep it for 4, and then slowly exhale for the count of 4. Do you want to do it now? Should we practice it? Do you want to practice that now? Yeah. Okay. Close your eyes if you want to, or you can leave them open if you want. Yeah. Just take a deep breath in for 4. Hold for 4. And then slowly exhale for 4. How does that feel?
Nice.
Yeah. That's something you can do maybe 2 or 3 times. Feeling panicky and feeling. Sorry, did you say something?
Sorry, I'm saying I have a nasty cough, so I
Oh.
felt it more when I was trying to take that deep breath. I couldn't do it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So another good grounding technique that you can use for emotional balance is physical connection. Okay? There's something that you have a physical connection with, like an object that feels comfortable, like a scarf or a stress ball. You can get these soft stress balls, or a teddy or a pillow, anything, hold it and just squeeze it. It helps to calm your nerves as well.
Stress rings as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Rings.
Sorry. So how does the ring work?
They're just rings, but they're like they can move, so there's different, they move in different directions, and especially for children, they now allow them in school for the learners autism ADHD because they can flick it and it takes your focus off the
Of
anxiety.
what's going on? Yes, yes.
But it's actually fun. I've got a few of those. They're fun too.
Oh gosh, I'll talk to you about that.
But then parents come and like, do you have any stress rings? And they
Oh
just
gosh,
say,
I thought this is the first I'm hearing about stress rings. I know about the rings that are now like the smart watches, smart rings that measure your heart rate and everything. Obviously, that's not what you're talking about. Yeah, so that also helps to relieve stress and help to keep you in the moment. You can use grounding statements as well, okay, such as I am safe and I can handle this moment. If you feel yourself, becoming stressed, this feeling will pass and I will find calm. I'm in control of my response. And by that this, I mean in control of how I respond to the situation around me. I'm here, present, and I'm okay. I mean, it could be worse. We could be dead. You're here. That's something to celebrate. Yeah. I can take one small step at a time. Okay? You can come up with your own words. You can take a picture of this and use it. Feel free to. So, I want us to practice the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. Okay? So, think about 5 things that you can see around you in this room. Who would like to share? Yes, Charity?
Yeah, I started I can see table, chair, cups, screen, boiler, juice.
Yeah, we've done more than 5 things.
I continued, yeah.
Okay. So 4 things that you can. What is it again? So 4 things that you can smell. Yeah. And then 3 things that you can hear. Oh no, we're missing something. 5 things that you can see. I've forgotten what it is I'm doing. 5 things that you can see. 4 things that you can. Let me go back a bit.
Yeah.
No, it's 3 things that you can hear. Yeah, touch. It's the touch one. 4 things that you can touch. 3 things you can hear. 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. So much for facilitating this. I forgot to say. Yeah, let me leave it there while we're doing it. So 4 things you can touch. You can come up with 4 things you can touch. Yes, Bridget. Oh.
I can touch Charity,
Yes.
phone,
Yes.
bottle,
Yes.
and glasses.
Yes. Well done. Well done. So 3 things you can hear.
I can hear the home going on.
Yeah.
I can hear myself chewing gum.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing people hearing their throats.
Yeah. Brilliant. 2 things you can smell. It's a challenging, this one. I suppose it's not about, it may be something that is possible for you to smell, not necessarily what you can smell, you know. I reckon it's possible for me to smell that washing of liquid. It does have an odor. You can smell coffee.
can still someone's perfume, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can also smell somebody's perfume. Okay? And one thing you can taste, of course, you can taste the biscuits, the drinks.
But the beauty is that in trying to find these things,
Yes.
you'll be focused.
Absolutely.
And calm down.
Yes, your focus completely moves away from the situation that is stressing you out or overwhelming you in that moment. And that's why this works so beautifully. Okay, so the next and most important step, in my opinion, is to celebrate progress. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. I don't care how you do it. Celebrate. Set yourself a goal, and every week you achieve it, celebrate. Even if it's just by being able to move like that, Charity. If you can't dance and you can put on music and you can move like that, that's a way of celebrating, okay? Yeah. So, share one positive change that you've noticed since starting recovery. I reckon this applies to Mike and Charity. Can you think of any? Can you think of a positive change you've noticed since starting recovery?
Yeah, I have. I can walk more. I even talk more. I'm more confident. If I couldn't talk, because I would feel, really insecure.
Yes.
So I think growing up is improving.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gratitude and self-recognition are powerful tools for growth. We've all expressed our gratitude here, and you've expressed your gratitude to God and to the community that supports you, and to those.
And my friends who support me, who understand me, who are willing to listen.
Absolutely, absolutely. Expressing that gratitude is important, because that's what gives you the strength to grow and to keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's right.
So, to recap, confidence is a journey of small steps. Start small, set achievable goals, mind your inner critic. Use grounding techniques for emotional balance, and then celebrate progress, okay? More importantly, stay kind to yourself while you're doing all of this, okay?
Self-care.
Yeah. And that's me done. I don't know if anybody will want to take a picture of that before we move on to the next one. Thank you.
That's super. So nice. This is what we needed.
So, what stood out for you? Anybody like to share? Yes.
For me, I think it's the fact that, in my family, like I said, we've never had any experience of stroke. However, like my dad passed from cancer, we've had it in the family. My sister had cancer recently. She was pregnant, and it turned out the pregnancy was hiding the symptoms. I had some worries as well, but everything you discussed here still applies, to the situation, the experiences, the confidence, everything to the T applies regardless of, it's just that one word, in my case, stroke, but then only God knows the future, but it applies to, 100% any challenge you face in life, managing anxiety, and a lot of these things are brought on, lots of physical. Like when my dad passed away and I was going through the medication, the majority of it was for stress and depression.
Yes.
And you don't see it because, like you said, they're breadwinners, they're confident, you just see the persona.
Yes.
And a lot of time we have anxieties, you have stress, you have just simple things like,
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned, Charity, that your doctor talked about being positive. Not surprisingly, when I was going through cancer, the clinician that did my bone scan pulled me aside and said, look, the best way to fight this, he was literally whispering it, one elderly man, avoid stress. Avoid anything that stresses you out. That is so bad for cancer. Stay positive. He just pulled me aside in the corner, just whispered these two things to me. That is why it's so important to focus on your well-being and your positive well-being. That is, first and foremost before the medication. For the medication is important. The treatment is important. But for that to work, you have to be calm within you. You have to accept that it's possible for you to recover from this, and that whatever challenges that you're going through, that you will overcome it, that you will not let it bury you in depression. Because most of the time, because most of the time, the reason people don't recover, sadly, from illnesses is because they just wallow in so much depression that they just let it completely overwhelm them and devastate whatever positivity they can get out of what they're going through.
I just wanted to share. I don't know about like for me personally, when I'm unwell or I'm sick, one of the ways I look after my well-being is speaking to particular people that I feel can encourage me. Like, for example, if I call Charity, I know she's calming, she's saying everything. I would like to call her. And then, it also helps someone to know that you're unwell and you feel like somebody knows that, because we look after so many people. When you're in community work, you're looking after organizations, you're looking after people, everyone is looking after you, up to you. But when you're unwell, it's like nobody even knows.
Yes, absolutely.
So it can be overwhelming, but also remembering that, okay, so and so I can reach out to, who can talk to me or talk with me. For our male brothers, I feel like it's different. I saw it from my husband when he was unwell for a couple of months. I would encourage him, like, call your friends, talk to your friend. I think in the mind that they do like that.
There's nothing like when I was going through cancer and I was getting support from breast cancer care when they were still breast cancer care. I still volunteer for them, but now I'm breast cancer now, and it was mostly women. Then again, it's mostly women who go through breast cancer, although it affects men. A small majority of men go through it. But you find that it's mostly women that you find, sharing similar experiences with you. For some reason, men don't feel comfortable doing it. When I organized the support group, it was only one man that turned up, and he left before it was over. Oh, and my next, sorry.
That's all right. I was just going to make a comment on that.
Oh yes, please do.
This basically presentation is related to people who have suffered from problems of stroke.
Yes.
However, I noticed that actually all the information there does relate it also to other problems, like
Yes,
mental health.
that's what she mentioned. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like mental health.
Yes.
Or and even normal people who have not suffered from anything.
Absolutely.
If we do not actually carry out the things that you are saying,
Yes.
we end up actually in those positions again.
Yes.
We can even get heart attacks
Absolutely.
because of not carrying out such things.
Absolutely.
So keeping aware of yourself, how to stress, anxiety, depression, negativity, and not thinking about being positive, associating with other people, making relationship with
Yes.
other people,
Yes.
so that you actually feel that you are needed.
Yes.
Just loneliness itself
Yes.
can put you in that situation,
Yes.
can set you into anxiety, depression. So that's how I've looked at this. I said it's very important in all areas
Yes, it is.
that we take care of what
It
is
is.
disorder.
It is. Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
We have 20 minutes to have our tea break.
Okay, yeah, I'm literally done. I just wanted to share.
Yeah.
If you can take pictures of this, I have some self-help resources and crisis helplines. You can, what you can do, gratitude journaling, you know, as part of maybe your process of writing a book, get a notebook and you know, share your feelings, what you went through for the day, both good and bad, you know, to help you to reflect. There are meditation apps like Calm or Headspace that you can also get for mindfulness and relaxation. And there are crisis helplines that you can call. Okay? Oh, lovely, good. Yeah.
Is Calm a free app? Or is it paid? It's Calm
I think-
free. Paid.
Also, something that might be relevant for those that are struggling to hold the cup rather than a pen. Instead of writing, you can also record. your
Oh yes, you
voice.
can dictate.
Dictate,
Yeah.
and then
Into most computers now, or even your phone, you can speak in voice. You can have it do a voice record for you. Yeah. Okay, you've taken a picture of that, and that's you can scan that code for my contact details. It will take you to my link tree, or take a picture and then you can scan it. I'll take you to my link tree where you can get all my details if you'd like to.
Thank you.
Maybe leave me a feedback. Yes.
You were quite lucky. You said that your doctor was able to tell you that do not stress yourself.
It wasn't even the doctor that told me that. It was the one elderly man that was going to do my body scan, because you have to do a bone scan when you have cancer to check that it hasn't gone into your bone. So I had to do that a few times. So it was the man, one elderly man, you know, that could have been my grandfather, called me aside before he took me to the room and said, "Look,
Okay.
avoid." They're not my doctor. You know, they don't tell you directly. They don't tell you. They
Because
don't tell you directly.
I went through that.
They're not supposed
They
to
never told me.
They will not tell you because some people may misunderstand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to be careful what they
They
say.
don't, medicine, they can't
They
tell.
will just talk to you about the medication. All they told me was that, you know, because I am already very healthy, because I was shocked to discover I had cancer, I eat sensibly, I exercise, I work out. In fact, before I had my surgery, I was training to do a 5K race to raise funds for cancer research. So I actually did the race, and then the next day I went in to have a surgery to remove the cancer from my breast. So because I was already training, I wasn't going to stop.
So,
So I went ahead and I did it anyway. Yeah. So that's how fit I was. So it was such a shock. I don't overly drink alcohol. I don't smoke. We don't have any history of breast cancer in my family. So when I asked, and they said, prior to that, I thought that it had to be in your genes for you to have breast cancer. But they said, no, anybody can develop it. But they said, one thing you have going for you is because you're fit and healthy, you will get over it. You will recover very well. And that helped me a great deal, even though the process of recovery was horrible. Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm just a bit conscious about
Yes, I'm done. I'm done really.
The whole up to 2, it's amazing how time flies.
Yes, it does.
So we can just make it free, like we have some snacks over there.
Yeah.
So while she wraps up, just feel free to
I've wrapped up actually, I'm done.
have snacks.
I'm done. Thank you. Unless anybody has questions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But I'm done.
Yeah, I also want us to take care of our own well-being by having some snacks because we fed our mental health right now with a lot of data from Stella, so feed the body as well. Thank you very much once more.